And now back to more Planet Green Trees.
You guys nailed it.
Imagine the reality of this, that for the so-called concerns of driving while impaired, that's always like in the backdrop of this. Unlike walking out of a bar after, a night of drinking, walking out of an event like this or a consumption lot and ingesting a couple CBDs, flower before you leave, and it actually making you not anymore. This is a phenomenon. It would be. Anyways,
like a phenomenon.
I see we have a four-time Stanley Cup legend and starring in the Canna Jam, the one and only Darren Mack. Darren, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing, my friend?
Let's get one thing straight, and it's a perfect segue to the part of the conversation to what I have with the brand. But I'm not the star of the Canna Jam, all right? That's going to be the Pink Floyd Light Show. That's why Jamie got me to go, because of the Pink Floyd Light Show. So he knows how to twist my arm. But no, honestly, guys and gals and everybody, first of all, thank you to all of you again, because I'm alive. And it's because of people not only out there, but you guys front and center. And to be where we're at right now, to be able to have a Canna Jam, to be able to talk about what you're talking about. I got the end of the conversation, but let me just tell you, the big thing that Darren McCarty and the Darren McCarty brand is focusing on is the ensemble or entourage effect. I don't know what the proper term is. One of you guys this weekend will educate me. So I talk properly, but I have a Miss Elizabeth strain that I have out right now. And it's an 8% THC to 12% CBD. And I encourage that I call that the Iron Man suit. So I keep that on stock because it doesn't matter what I should not over medicate myself in certain situations now because of the education that I have. But if I get ready to do my comedy show or whatever, that's what I want to smoke right before. And it just centers me down. So to hear that, professionally and medically that there's a reason for it, I just know. It's just like I always say too, RSO is the savior. If at the end of the day, I believe everybody should have like a gram of RSO in the freezer because that's the timeout. And then if you want to do something stupid tomorrow, then at least you've taken that time out. And me, I ramble, I'm passionate, but I'm excited to be at the Canna Jam in Ipsy on Saturday.
You're right, Darren. And I heard you talking in the Drew and Mike show, and you were making the point of how, education's still necessary. And the things that we're talking about right now reduce the stigma. I mean, one of the, the overarching themes is we want to reduce the stigma of cannabis use in social situations. I've been complaining that they gave these rec license for social clubs and events. 2019, there's been 3. Ours will be the third. Fourth. And, nobody's walking into a restaurant, a bar, and seeing the selection of single malt scotch and a bunch of kind bud that you have a choice of. We're a long way away from that, and you can watch a sporting event and be inundated with pretty gorgeous people drinking beer and having fun over alcohol. Much more dangerous choice. So,
but that's the next goal, right? That's there's a 2023 plan with all these teams downtown that's when they're going to start being really good. And my goal is, to your point right there, as far as a cannabis consumption lounge, right? And you look at myself, you look at Calvin Johnson, Rob Sims with Primitive. If you want to go athletes, you look at Chris Webber putting $50 million into Corktown. There should be, and I'm looking to have this conversation, and I put it out there, and you know how I roll, boys, is that it's just straightforward, and I don't have any breaks. And the fact is that I believe by that time, I'm not asking something to not have to have the option to go to a CBD coffee bar lounge, sort of what Jamie and the people up north, Kalkaska, are concocting, and have an option, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about what you choose. Go get drunk or drink, or go get CBD or smoke a joint before you go, however you want to entertain. And I think that what you guys do with this show, Planet Green Trees, everybody who is involved in anything, and it's important that the listeners and the viewers, and they all know that this is their part of it too. I would thank all of you individually because it's you are the reason, because of cannabis becoming the recreational, the medical, that I'm alive. So I entertained you. We had some fun. Now the real choice is here. The real job's here. And I'm just happy to be part of your guys' team. And we're going to get there, though. We're going to get there one day soon. Because can I ask you guys this, right? Are we not further? And I know some ways we're not further along, but in other ways we are a lot further along. And I think, to me, the blessing of COVID was education sped up because people didn't have a choice but to seek alternative that maybe they didn't before. So I'm patient. I've learned a long time ago that I'm like the plant. I got to be patient, resilient, and it's not on my time. It's on his time and the plant's time. And I love surrounding myself with people like yourselves, because that's it. At the end of the day, what we do is not who we are. And what we are is we're compassionate people for other people.
You know, you're a good ambassador for this, Darren, because people obviously respect you for your, career as a hockey player, and also your survival afterwards. Not a lot of athletes can pull themselves out of the post, professional athlete thing. And you've become an ambassador of speaking about it. I love the fact that, on the Drew and Mike show, they were trying to pull you into the party mode kind of thing. And you kept pulling back like, no, it's all about education. You got to know about it. People need to make choices. And there may be, so you're right. And I think that is a overarching theme about this. And, there needs to be more of it. Like we all just went, we just observed these bills that are, in committee up in Lansing. All of those legislatures are oblivious to the history of the Michigan marijuana laws, and it was.
That's why I'm not allowed in there, right? That's why I'm not allowed in there. That's why I will preach to. But are you kidding me? I couldn't do what you guys do because it's the compassion of dealing with idiocracy. Because the thing is this is a plant, so it deals with common sense. And it really showed, really the kicker to me is the fact that I have an endocannabinoid system, and you're telling me that this plant is the one that has over 500 cannabinoids. Wait a sec, this is the food processor, A. 2, I can't die, right? And no matter what. And 3, it clears up, this plant cleans up nuclear disasters, AKA hemp Chernobyl, which means, oh my gosh, I was a disaster. RSO, boom, right? And allowed me. So it's common sense. And I think that that's all it is. And sometimes I'm there to smack them hard. That's why we have Jamie. And that's why we have Rick and yourself and all the fine people that do it by the book. But it's coming slowly because even the uneducated are becoming, because the allies are the ones that go, well, it just makes sense, right? We just got to go, well, that's common sense. So it's a tough fight, and you guys have the toughest fight. So, that frustrates me.
I know.
It does, that there's such stupidity when it comes to human compassion. Because if it's about compassion for a fellow human being, then this isn't even an issue. But it's not. It's about the dollars. So we got to fight through that, give everybody their money, and then we can move on.
And the amount of ignorance and misunderstanding about cannabis was on full display at the committee hearing on Tuesday in regulatory reform by the MCMA and their lobbyists.
When you're charged with a crime, you need a real attorney. And here's just a few reasons why. The police, the courts, the labs, the drug tests, probation, the judges, the jails, the prisons, and the entire system is just one big machine. They have one objective: take your freedom, take your possessions, take your money, take your children, control your life, and destroy your future. You only get one chance to hire the right attorney. One that will stay in your corner, one that will fight for your rights, one that will fight for your freedom. Choose an attorney that's experienced in fighting the justice machine. Attorney Michael Komorn. Knockout victories, one case at a time.